Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today Mr. Wallflowers and I had a little bit of a day out. We went to some charity shops, initially looking for some books, foraging, etc., and to see if we could pick up anything that we could use. We didn't want tat, we didn't want anything else, just things that were going to be useful. So we actually went to a town local to us called Ormskirk. It's literally 5 miles away, 10 minutes in the van. It's a nice old town. There's lots of new bits to it, but in the centre of town, there's a few old buildings and particularly a nice old clock. Anyway, let me show you the footage. In the end, I'll show you what we got. Okay, so here we are in the town centre of Ormskirk. Ormskirk is a really old town. It's in the Doomsday. It's a really old market square. It's quite bitterly cold today and has been raining off and on quite heavily. So here we are at the clock in the centre of the market square. I'm hoping you can read these because we've focused in for you to have a good look. Pause and read if you'd like to. I like the way the old rock has mould, has bird poop build up. I just like the age of the rock and the stones. Just like old buildings and old structures. It really gives something to a town and area. So we're heading down to the back of the market square here, and there's two charity shops facing each other. Waiting for Mr. Wallflowers to catch me up. I'm too eager to get inside the warm shop. The reason we've had to do a voiceover on this section is because the hustle and bustle is quite loud, and also as we approach and get into each shop, most of them have music or the radio playing, so we've had to do a voiceover, and we've been quite covert with the camera so as to not make it obvious we were recording. So I do apologise at this point if it's not great filming. The bulk of the shops primarily are clothing. The budget doesn't allow for clothing today, although I do always like to have a little look. We're on a very strict budget and we're looking for certain things today. Now, although the clothing is well stocked, it doesn't look like the shelving area is as stocked as it normally would be. And we seem to see a pattern of the same people in the different shops. So I think everyone is looking for certain things today. Here I start to discover a couple of weck jars. And I'm just umming and ahhing over the prices really, because that's what I've actually specifically come to look for today. Some jars, some books. And although this is a little tiny jar, the lady's asking £1 for it. So I'm umming and ahhing. And now I decide to approach the lady and ask her would she accept 50p rather than £1. Quite quickly she accepts my offer and I return to the shelf to get the other 3. So that's 4 jars I managed to get for 50p each. Communication goes a long, long way. And whilst I'm at the counter, she also points out that there are several more weck jars on the shelf, and I proceed to take them. Off to the next shop. Before everyone else leaves this shop, try to beat them to get to the next shop. Again, more clothing, but it's the shelf items I'm interested in today. There are some typical items that you find on most charity shelves, but there's also, when you look in the nooks and crannies, some other features pop out. Having a good look through the book section here, and most of it's story form books. Mr. Wallflower's being very covert with the camera. We always have a good look at the clothing section in case there's a particularly warm something that'll fit us or will fit the boys or something that will save us money in the long run. In the olden days, charity shops used to have a weird smell to them. These all smell really good. It's a nice, pleasant atmosphere. Music's on, everybody's jolly. It's a nice feeling these days to be in a charity shop. Sometimes you used to have to hold your nose many years ago, and I think many improvements have been made. I had a stern warning with myself not to buy ornaments, not to buy bric-a-brac, just to buy things that we could actually use, value for money today. That item I'm looking at there is a manual mincer, but unfortunately the base of it was broken, so it would have literally just been an ornament. I do apologise about my voice today, but it's quite hoarse and sore, so I'm still drinking honey, garlic and chamomile. And off we go to look for the next. It's a great time for charity shops, as I say. There are 7 or 8 in this town centre. We're able to hop in and out of them quite easily. And are grateful of the warm when we come in from the street. I've got quite a few layers on today, fully wrapped up warm. There's always plenty of jigsaws, and we have 4 now that we haven't done yet, so I avoided picking up any more jigsaws today. The men's section has drastically improved in the charity shops as well. Used to be the day it'd just be women's items, now there's a good mix of both. This is an old post office. It's actually transformed into a pub now, but they've seemed to kept most of the features of the old post office. This charity shop now is furniture, but still has some bric-a-brac items and some clothing, so it's a bigger choice really. I've not been in this one before, so I'm just trying to have a good look around, make sure I don't miss anything, appreciate what's there, and then find the section that I'm more interested in. Always take my time in a charity shop, always make sure I don't miss any little nooks and crannies, because sometimes there's an extra little alcove or an upstairs part. Trying not to catch anyone else on camera. We've done quite well today for the money that we've spent, and we're just looking now with the last few pounds that we have left, is there something else that we can pick up? We found other people lifting items, looking at the names underneath. Okay, so that footage was a bit here and there, but we didn't really want to ask permission to film in the shops. We felt like it was a bit of covert filming, but we enjoyed it. Anyway, let me show you what I got. So, since we've been worrying about are the blackouts going to come, etc., Mr. Wallflowers and I were discussing about what games we like to play. You know, even in our 50s, we still play Scrabble, we still play Yahtzee, we still do a lot of puzzle books. We knew we needed some new puzzle books because we'd used the majority of what we got. There's only a few puzzles left. And recently we went, we had to go to the supermarket at Christmas to get a couple of bits. The prices of the puzzle books were beyond what we thought they were worth, really. So I come across this. So it's 365 days of puzzles. It's crossword after crossword after crossword. We will thoroughly enjoy that. The price was £1.50. So compared to paying £3 or more for a magazine size puzzle book, we've actually got a really big, thick crossword book that we'll thoroughly enjoy. Both sides of the pages. That was a really good find for us, so we were quite happy with that for £1.50. We found two pretty similar to Weck jars, really. Same effect, and these ones are a brand name called, I think it's Cartwright and Barter.
It's on the side.
It just says C&B. What is it? Cartwright and Butler. And they're two rather attractive jars with porcelain lids. This one inside actually has another plastic protector. Besides what you normally get with the Weck jars, you know, the plastic seal. So the smaller one was 50p. The next one was £1. Now they're both pretty smallish jars, but they're quite attractive and we were really happy with them. Now we're looking at buying some sort of canning machine in the future. We would have liked the All-American, but we're realising they're really expensive and the shipping costs on top of that bumps it up even more. We're looking at the Presto now. The Presto kind of looks quite near what we'd like. So for less than half the price, we can actually get a Presto canner, so fingers crossed we may be able to do that pretty soon. So these kind of jars, I know Tessie and other people can in Weck jars. Yeah, we can't buy canning jars here in the UK as cheaply as people abroad can. So we don't find them at garage sales, car boot sales, very, very rarely. And in this weather, we're not actually going to car boots anyway. So in the charity shops today, I've been looking for things like Weck jars. The very first shop we went into, they had 4 of these size jars and they were asking for 50p each. I actually went to the lady on the counter and said,
£1 each.
No, they were asking for £1 each, sorry. And there was 4 of them, and I actually asked the lady on the counter, would she accept 50p each, which meant I could get the 4 of them for £2. Luckily enough, she said yeah. So I managed to get 4 of those, that size. She wrapped them up so well for me as well, which is great. So that's the 4 of those, which came to £2. So that's £5 altogether, which was absolutely wonderful. And then there were further jars in the same shop, and seeing as she's already given me a reasonable price, I went on then. So this one was for £1, and I said to her the seal doesn't look that great and I probably have to replace it and some of the metal around it. So she gave me that one for 50p as well. This one's in really good condition and it was £2. So she actually gave me that one for £1.50. So she still knocked a further 50p off. And then this really large one at the back was £2. And again, I think she gave me that one for £1.50. So the collection I've got here today of Weck jars and Pretty Similar is a really good head start for when I get my canner, because obviously so far with my water bather I've actually been using shopboard jars, and from the advice that I've been given, that when I use a Presto or an All-American, depending on which one we can actually afford at the end of the day, the better jars I have, the better chance I have of that food being successful and sealing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jars and a puzzle book that should last a year. So it's absolutely fabulous. So I spent £2, £2.50, £3, £4, £5.50. We spent £7 altogether. So that's absolutely amazing. These jars will last a long time and the puzzle book a year. So I hope you liked our charity shop. Do you go to the charity shops on a regular basis? If so, what have your finds been recently? The reason we went to Ormskirk today is because they have about 7 or 8 charity shops in the town centre. So it's really nice to hop in and out of each one, make an afternoon of it. We had a budget. We didn't want to spend over £10 and we didn't. We got exactly what we went looking for, except for the extra books. We did want some foraging gun medicinal books, but we didn't find those. But we're really happy with what we did find. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.